Good morning, MLB family. My name is Scott Gessford. I'm your Sacramento A's GM. I'm here always with,
Rob Chapman, your Kansas City Royals GM.
and today we're joined by San Francisco Giants GM John Heinz and the anonymous GM.
Thank you, guys.
Hey guys, thanks for having me.
So Rob, let's run down the standings. I'll start with the East so you can talk about your Central here in a second. So today's Wednesday, July 30th. In the AL East, we have the Tampa Bay Rays at 64 and 44, 4.5 games above the Red Sox, 13 games ahead of Baltimore, 16 and a half over Toronto, and 21 and a half over the Yankees.
And the Magical Tigers are still holding on to the top of the AL Central at a 62 and 47 record. My Royals are 3.5 games back, having won their last 7 games. The White Sox are still hanging around, although they've hit a little bit of a rough patch. They're 6.5 out, Twins 7.5 out, and then the Guardians are out 20.5 games.
And the American League West, the Angels are 70 and 38, 6 games above Seattle, 9 games above Houston, 16 games above my A's, who are at 500, and 29 games above the Rangers.
Out in the National League East, the world champion Phillies are still cruising there, 68 and 39, and an 18.5 game lead on the second place Braves. The Miami Marlins are in third place, 24 games back. The Nationals 25.5, and the Mets have fallen to 26.5 games behind the Phillies. Yeah.
And in the NL Central, we have the Milwaukee Brewers and Pittsburgh Pirates tied at 58 and 50. Cincinnati's 1 game back. Cardinals are a game and a half back, and the Cubs are 9 games back. Hey, Rob, do you want John to do the NL East or West since he's here?
Yeah, sure. If he's got this, do you have the standings handy, John?
I've got them handy. I was following
All
along.
right, go for it then.
The San Francisco Giants, wouldn't you know, they are in first place. We're 62 and 46. We're 4 games up on the Diamondbacks, which is fantastic. Rockies made a little push. They're 8.5 games back. The Padres are 13 back, and then the Dodgers are 15 back.
All right. I'm gonna look at the AL wild card here real quickly. Mariners top wild card team, followed by the Astros, just a game and a half behind them, and the final wild card spot is being held up by the Red Sox. But my Royals are just 1.5 games behind them. The White Sox are just 4.5 back. Minnesota and Sacramento both 5.5 back, and I think that's probably far enough back to go.
Yeah, and in the National League, the Milwaukee Brewers, Arizona Diamondbacks, Pittsburgh Pirates are all holding that first spot. Well, the first 3 spots tied. Cincinnati's a game back of them. And then the Cardinals are a half a game back of the Reds, who's in the final spot. The Rockies are 3.5 back, and I think that might be as far as we need to go in the National League right now.
Yeah, the Brewers and Reds are Brewers and Pirates, sorry, looks like they're tied for either the first wild card or central leader there. So it's got an extra wild card team lifted.
That division's crazy. If you look at the run
yeah.
differential, the teams in first and second have like mega negative run differential, and then the poor Reds, Cardinals, and Cubs are all positive run differential, but out of luck.
That's been a weird division all year long. All right, now we got a couple guests here. John, do you want to talk about anything in particular about the Giants?
Yeah, made a trade today. Picked up good old Walker Buehler from the Braves for a smattering of prospects and the injured Kevin Comer. Yeah, I'm pretty excited. You know, I've been tinkering around with the idea of getting another starting pitcher, which seems silly because I have the National League's top pitching staff. But Cozart, who's one of my 3 really good starting pitchers, he's a free agent at the end of the year. So I figured, well, I'm gonna he's like 35. He wants like a 4-year extension, which that's not gonna happen. Not for me, at least. Somebody else can do that. So I'm gonna need to replace him anyways. And I was like, well, I'd rather replace him now and get another guy who can maybe pitch in a playoff game. So when, you know, I fiddled around a couple weeks ago with, you know, sent notes out to other GMs, but then when Hodges posted his trade block, I was like, oh, Buehler might be the perfect fit because he signed for 2026 and has a player option for 27. So I'm pretty stoked. He's another righty. I've got 3 lefties, 3 righties. I can kind of mess around with matchups and tinker things. My schedule the rest of the way is, I think, the easiest in the National League. Knock on wood. I think I only play like 6 series against teams with a positive run differential. 2 of those are the Diamondbacks. So I'm kind of figuring, all right, if I could just go 3-3 in those Diamondback games, I'd have the tiebreaker. I'd essentially be 5 games up with 48 games. That's going to be tough for them to beat. So just got to beat the Diamondbacks.
Cool
Yeah, I
question.
gotta
Are
admit,
you
I was
gonna go with the 6-man rotation?
I think I will sometimes. I think I'll probably mix and match. Yeah, I'm big on looking at what if a team's better against righty or lefty pitching and trying to like stack that way. So I can just always play that game. If a team's worse against lefties, well, they're going to get probably at least 2 lefties. If they're worse against righties, I'm going to give them at least 2 righties, and just kind of mess with people all the time just to poke them.
2 questions for you. First, Bueller hasn't been as good on the road as he had been at home. Obviously, your pitching staff has been fantastic all season long. Is there the hope that right ballpark in San Francisco, those issues go away?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of look at any pitcher gets the old Oracle Park bump a little bit. Like a lot of my pitchers are very skewed to home and road. So are my hitters, which is super fun. But yeah, no, I'm thinking if he can just keep doing what he's doing, he's probably my 4th best starting pitcher. Urias has really struggled this year. He's decided to give up home runs all the time. So like he's already passed last year's total of home runs allowed. I think it's like 20, and last year he gave up like 17. So he's not really, he's definitely one who can slide out when I need to, and another lefty in the pen. So yeah, I think.
And then also just looking at his last 10 starts, one of them against Philadelphia on June 28th, he went 5 innings, 3 hits, one earned run. Then back on June 5th against Arizona, a win, 5 1/3, 2 hits, 1 run. Did those starts kind of play in? Did you see those starts and go, man, those are good teams I want to have success against?
Yeah, I didn't see those, but that sounds fantastic. Yeah, I wish I could be like, oh yeah, I've analyzed every start, I've watched every pitch the guy's thrown his entire career. I just kind of do him by reputation. Like it was really a whim. He posted the trade block, and then by the time I saw it, I probably sent him a message like 5 minutes later, thinking like, all right, yeah, he might fit, depending on the cost. The cost was fair.
And I wasn't aware when I first saw the trade. I wasn't aware that Comer was on the injured list. So I was a little confused at first. I was like, he's getting a very similar pitcher and giving up all this stuff. But then like once I realized, oh, he's hurt, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, Comer was my masterful plan to try and be that starter because I signed him in like late March for like $4 million. I was like, cool, maybe this guy will be decent like he's been. I can maybe extend him, and he could be, because he's younger. So I thought maybe he could be that guy to take Kozar's place, but then he got hurt. And so I was like, yeah. So that was just to make the money work. He asked for a slightly better prospect. And so my return ask was, well, here, take $1.5 million so I can play around at international free agency a little more.
So some of these prospects that you gave up are maybe not so well known. Can you give us a little insight on some of them?
Yeah, so there's Zach Johnson. OSA calls him my number 1 prospect. My rankings would differ. Personally, he's not my style of pitcher, but he's pretty solid. I think he's had a good year in AA. I think his ERA is like 2.8, something like that. Nothing wrong with the guy. Very solid. Probably, if he doesn't make it as a starter, I think he's kind of the kind of pitcher that would definitely profile as a pretty solid reliever at the worst case. And then, so that was him. And then there's Miguel Geraldo, who I picked up, I think, when I sent Pardo to the Blue Jays, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's when I got him. He's a really good second base, third baseman. He's maybe not going to set the world on fire, but he's one of those guys, like if he's your, 5th infielder, you're doing pretty good. But I just picked up Brownell. I already had my starting second baseman in Carlos Martinez. I have Aguilar, the best defensive shortstop. He's not going anywhere. It's kind of like, all right, I can trade from that excess. And then the third guy is Oliver Gonzalez, who's probably the best one. He's the nicer prospect that Hodges asked for from who I originally offered. He's good. He's like 20. He's in short season A-ball. If he makes it all the way as is, he'd probably be a starting quality outfielder. But for me, that's not going to happen. I mean, what 2028 would be maybe when he comes to the big leagues. Like, I'll worry about that some other day. And the odds of me, even if I kept him, well, I'll probably just deal him with some other trade between now and then anyway. So what's the point?
Yeah. All right. Any other things in the works? Anonymous GM, have you heard of any scuttlebutt going on?
Scuttlebutt.
I've heard the one that I think there was a lot of, I don't know if anticipation or speculation is the right word, but Ronald Acuna. The more I have heard, I think there's a couple of issues at play. Miami doesn't really want to give him up, so to get him, you'd really have to pay up. And in order to pay up, for a guy who's potentially a rental, you're not going to get what Miami's going to need to get rid of him. I'd be shocked if Ronald Acuna's moved. There's at least 2 playoff contenders in the American League that have made offers. One, I was told, was a very strong offer, but didn't include any top 100 prospects. So I'm very reluctant to see that trade happen. And then the other team that I heard made a play values him simply as a rental. So again, I don't see how Miami is going to get what they are going to want to move him. So Ronald Acuna will probably be staying a Marlin, would be my best guess.
Yeah,
and the
because
other
I'm assuming he probably wants like 30 million a year, would be my guess.
it'll be north of 25. I think 25 is a good number. The issue, to break the third wall a little bit here, the big issue with Ronald Acuna is separating MLB Pro Ronald Acuna, who's a good player. Don't get me wrong, he's a good player, from real world Ronald Acuna, who's one of the best players in the league. And I think there may be some disconnect or some internal members of the Miami organization who maybe hold him to the one when he's the other. And it just makes it for a really tricky trade. So I don't see that one happening. To the same note, we've heard Shohei Ohtani's name. That one, I was shocked from the start if that was going to happen. I've heard nothing to suggest that that's any closer to being moved. So yeah, Shohei Ohtani and Ronald Acuna, the 2 big names we've heard the last couple of weeks. I'd be very surprised if either one is moved in the next 26 hours.
The other, going back to Acuna for a second, the other thing that I think would make it hard for Miami to deal him is that Miami is, they're not good this year, although they swept me, so I won't say too much. That's a fast rebuild. When I look at that roster, they've got really, really good players. They've got, Gunnar Henderson on the shelf. They've got Justin Flo, one of the best rookies out there. Like you said, Acuna is a very, very good player here, even if he's not
Exactly.
elite. And then, when Gunnar Henderson got hurt, they brought up Zach Neto, and that guy's hitting 326. Like, they have 5 at least really good hitters already, and they've got a handful of good young pitchers. Like, I feel like
their best pitcher sitting in AAA. Let's just be honest here. And Josh, for no offense to Josh, Jacob Cone should not be pitching in the minor leagues. Jacob Cone is their best pitcher, and he should be in the majors at 24 years old.
Yeah, and they legitimately, like I said, that's a fast rebuild. Like, I don't even call it a rebuild. Like, they can take what they had, sign a couple free agents this offseason, because they're going to have a ton of money, even if they re-sign Acuna.
And to your point, Justin Flo signed for a long time. He's pre-arbitration. Gunnar Henderson pre-arbitration. They have the flexibility to extend Acuna.
Yeah, so I feel like weren't they in the playoffs last year? They can be right back in the playoffs with a weird off year this year, without doing a whole lot.
They were, I think they were either in it or close. But I guess I look at it like, if he's as good as, he's really good. He's put up 6 more seasons and such. Like, you can pay him and still trade him later. Like,
that's true too.
You got to pay somebody eventually, though. Like, this isn't Moneyball. Like, you're not going to pull that off. You're not going to be able to do a $60 million payroll and have a team that's going to really go amazing places. Maybe the playoffs, but probably not farther. So it's like, pay him. You can always put him back on the trade block. He's probably worth it. But I would agree with anonymous GM's take. If his name was Randy Anderson, I think
Right. He
a
probably
lot
would
of
have been
stuff
traded
would be
already.
different. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
The Braves posted Harper and Oihashi on the block. I don't see them being able to move either one of them.
They said they don't have a desire to retain any salary beyond this year. It'd be tough. Again, it's also a position where you're looking around the league. The teams that can afford that have good outfields. It makes it tough.
The only thing I would say, and this is kind of breaking the fourth wall as well, we're all going to the new version.
Yeah.
Extension dollar logic is much different and much more expensive. So paying Harper 39 is not going to seem as crazy, I think, in 8 months.
The team that, to me, that still would make, and I don't have OTP. I'm only on the website today, so it's a little harder for me to look at their salaries. But a team like Detroit, whose outfield isn't great, and I know we've heard these two names a lot, Roman Anthony and Jackson Merrill, and it's going to be really attractive to trot them out next opening day at league minimum salaries. But if they do view their window as now, and maybe they don't with their injuries, to maybe part with one of those, and you add a bona fide middle of the order bat like a Harper or an Oihashi, it makes Detroit more dangerous than they probably are, as they're slumping a little bit. But Tampa Bay is unlikely. I don't see Boston. Kansas City feels unlikely. The White Sox would be an intriguing team. And then you look out west, the Angels are a no. Seattle's unlikely. Houston unlikely. Philly's offense already is as good as any. Then you're looking back out the NL West. San Francisco's, I think your budget's probably big enough to do that. But you just made it.
$7 million this year, but that's prorated. So, that's also a factor.
Yeah, so it's just they're two names at this point, off season and the changing the tune of retention. Not even 50%, but a little bit. Then it becomes more likely. The names that I still have my eyes on are Julio Rodriguez, with teams seemingly not happy with either their starting catcher and or backup catcher. I still think he's worth a risk for the remainder of the year. Why not? Ed Harris, as a Cub, I think has to be traded or will be traded between now and tomorrow. Those are the two big bats that come to mind. Just quickly trying. Aroldis Chapman's still out there. That's intriguing.
There's your guy, Chappie.
Oh yeah, I should collect all the Chapmans.
Yeah.
We heard Alonso Martinez yesterday too. Unlikely, but maybe.
Well,
I just threw him out there.
Catchers are tough. That was the other thing I was kind of looking for, was a backup catcher. Right now I'm using Pardo as my backup catcher, which I'm ashamed to say out loud in front of a national audience, but it is what it is. But because every guy I've tried has just been terrible. Like I think Russo at one point was like 2 for 34. I was like, well, that's not gonna work. So, and I looked at like just about every team's backup catchers. I liked Rodriguez. I thought about it, but Soderstrom also hits lefty, so I really want a backup catcher that hits righty, so that way I can plan those rest days out. So I didn't end up doing it, but yeah, catching's a tough one.
And he's hitting 187 this month as of yesterday. So you're taking that chance. The power's there for. And what are you really going to give up for a backup catcher? It's just he's a tough sell, but he probably is the most attractive backup catcher out there.
I signed somebody for Pittsburgh on waivers, and I was like, that's good enough.
You should have jumped when I had Javi Lopez on the block. Nobody bid on him, and right now he's like my best player.
Yeah.
So he's no longer available.
Dang it.
He was he's minimum wage, and he's at 320 with 10 home runs right now.
Yeah, but I don't think you've seen my minor league system in a while. It's
that kind of cheap.
Yeah.
I think we talked about him a week or two ago. Michael Favre, the success he's had out of the bullpen, it's been night and day compared to him as a starter. In Cleveland, I don't think is expecting a whole lot for him. So there's an interesting piece. Just quickly going through the trade blocks
Trade
again.
block.
Robinson, Rivera, Hunter Green less likely. Robinson, Rivera, Chris Sale. Now that we've seen Walker Buehler moved, I could see Rivera or Sale moved. We hit on Ed Harris. I gotta think he's moved. Chapman, Jackson Coher. There's not a whole lot that's being openly thrown out there to suggest moves are coming, but moves are coming somewhere.
Well, even the Angels posted some people on a trade block. That's kind of unusual for Matt.
Were any of them big leaguers?
Probably not.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I think that answers your question there then.
Well, one of these days, Matt's going to have to open up the checkbook. He's got like 50 million available for this year and 75 for next year. Go get Ohtani, Matt.
Yeah, but then when you also have the best record, it's like, why? You know, like, yeah.
The team that's been
outfielders are tough.
The team that's been quiet, that's typically aggressive, and I know there's a lot going on to maybe prevent things from happening, but Houston, they haven't been playing as great as they had maybe expected, and some slumping here and there, sitting a little behind Seattle and LA. I could see them sneaking up for something here. Where though? I mean, again, you look at the lineup in pitching or first base. They're a team that probably need a starting pitcher, so I'd have my eyes on that.
Yeah, their
Well,
lineup's
yes,
pretty stacked. I don't know where you're going to upgrade there.
And
But-
with Matt and Houston, they're already looking at a $300 million payroll for next year.
A
Yeah,
rental
but-
pitcher or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, and those are guaranteed. Like my payroll is inflated for next year, but a lot of it's arbitration raises of guys that I just won't bring back. Happily, but yeah, that's a lot of guaranteed money.
That's
That makes me sweaty just looking at it. I'm not gonna do that.
For real.
All right. So Heinz, you got anything else going on? Any other trades you're looking at right now?
Foreseeable future, if Buehler wasn't signed for next year, I wouldn't have even traded for him. I thought I was already done. I was happy with Brownell, that trade. I'm really happy. He still hasn't hit because no one hits once they become a Giant, but he looks really shiny on the shelf, so I really like it. But no, I don't really have a spot to upgrade. I just need my good players like Sparks and Brownell and a couple others to just play better. Like if Sparks is a one WAR player now, I'm pretty much hosed no matter what else I do. So
I have a bulletin board question for you. And maybe it's one that's difficult to answer because you haven't spent much time probably thinking about this. But which of the NL Central, assuming you're going to finish with the second best record in the National League, so as you are currently, which of the National League Central teams scare you the most potentially in a first round playoff series?
I haven't played them yet, and that's maybe why they're the scariest, would be the Cardinals. I randomly have both my series against them in September, which is strange for out of division. Just because I know they picked up Giolito, and I feel like ever since I traded Giolito, he beats me no matter what team I am or he's on. So that's never a good sign, Copeland, Giolito, right? So that off the tip of my tongue, it's only been 2 out of 6, but I've seemingly handled the Pirates pretty well, and they have a negative run differential. Bren's done a great job even getting them this far so quickly, but I wouldn't say I'm super scared of them. Ditto the Brewers. Cubs, I think, aren't going to make the playoffs. And then who's that leave? The Reds. The Reds are tough too, but I would say the Cardinals just because of the unknown.
Yeah,
Giolito and Copeland make that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think Pittsburgh needs to get a starter.
Yeah,
To help with that rotation.
I think it's one of those where if he has had his Pythagorean record, he would be having a good season, but it looks better because he's +6, and then he's also like really good in 1-run games. It's like, well, eventually Lady Luck is going to run out.
Well, and Camilo Duvall could help. And then the other guy that Jacob Cohn in Miami's 1A and get him into the bigs. My 1B might be Joey Raftery in the organization of the Pirates, minor league pitcher with elite stuff who's stuck down way too low. Bullpen's atrocious in
Yeah.
Pittsburgh. Give him a chance.
Yeah, I'm the opposite of what guys said in the minors. I'm like, well, use it before you lose it. Like that's why I called up Garcia this year. He was my best prospect. I think he just aged out of being in the top 100. He's got his like 75 days. I was like, well, yeah, I could call up Alfred Johnson, who's a perfectly fine fifth starter. I was like, throw Garcia in there, see what happens.
The big thing you have too is your eighth and ninth inning between Hennessy and Bland. It's probably as good as any in the National League.
Yeah, the bullpen of death is super fun. Hennessy, he's one of the more remarkable stories. I think I posted a couple times, but he had multiple 13-month injuries like recently. Like he went something like I think it was like 28 months where he pitched like one game, but he just kept working on his. I don't know what he was doing to get himself better while he was hurt, but it sure worked. And yeah, he's really fun to have there with Bland. Bland seemingly like, Will Clark will sit him in save situations. He probably could have 35, 40 saves if I locked him into only pitching in save situations, but because no one scores, so all my games are within a couple runs. I also have the one quick shout out. I have the most underrated reliever in the league, which is Michelle Roman. That dude is unbelievable. And I really hope he comes back on his player option next year.
I've never noticed that his name is Michelle and not Michael, and I've stared at his name 100 times.
Took me like a year.
And you're not wrong. His year is fantastic. Are there any other names that you guys are, without spoiling the moves you might have, that just names you're keeping an eye on?
Team wise or player wise?
Either one.
I think honestly, I was thinking before I saw Hodges trade block, I was thinking it's going to be a quiet deadline. I think I say that most years, but I just don't see good enough players that are likely to move to teams that really want them bad enough to move the needle. I mean, yeah, we'll see. Hodges will get some trades in because he put really good players on the block and he seems pretty intent on dealing them, but I just don't know if there's a lot of huge moves coming.
I don't think I'm giving away too much to say that, we've made offers on a right fielder, outfielder to play right field for us because, we made that trade a couple weeks ago for Jernigan. He's just not ready. I still really like the player. I think he's going to be my starting right fielder next season, but I'm looking for a rental. And I did make an offer on Acuna, but I withdrew it after I traded one of the prospects I was trying to use to get him. And I asked Scott, you know, about Faustini, but like he, like always, totally overvalues his own players. And
I'm not trading them to you. I told you the Royals are dead to me.
but I do have another offer out for an outfielder who is would be considered a rental, probably. So we'll have to see if that goes through or not.
See, I have surplus players, but I'm afraid to trade them because I know as soon as I trade,
Yeah.
like my backup outfielder, a starter will go down, and then I will be very.
And that's another reason I want another outfielder, because if somebody gets hurt, Mark Baker has not been durable for me. When he plays, he's great, but he has, each year missed 30, 40 games. And yeah, so I would love to have a little insurance policy there. The rest of my organization, I feel pretty comfortable with. I don't know what's wrong with people. Outsiders will often say the Royals need to upgrade their bullpen. I just think they need to play better. Like Henry Lockwood has 5.11 ERA, but my scout loves him. He's got like 75 stuff, 60 movement, 55 control according to my scout. He shouldn't have a 5.11 ERA. It's funny, the guys that have the low ERAs, like Juan Aramis is my lowest rated pitcher, and he's got like a 2.27 and 0 losses this year. Like the guys that don't look like they would pitch well do well for me, but the guys with the high stuff and high movement and high control seem to struggle for me. So I'm
Well,
just not really interested in upgrading my bullpen. Just want them to do better.
Yeah.
And I'm
Lockwood's
not,
really good. His FIP is solid. His FIP is under 4. You know,
Yeah.
and that's what I like. I mean, that's my go-to.
Yeah, so we'll see how that goes. But it's definitely been a wild ride lately with the Kansas City bullpen. They like to make the games more interesting than they should be. Um, but I'm feeling I've got extra starters. I feel like my rotation is, six or seven deep, and you only really need 4 for the playoffs. Um, and pretty much every position except for outfield, I'm comfortable if someone gets hurt that I got somebody I can bring up and replace them. Um, but I don't want to say that too loudly and have a bunch of people get hurt.
and I'm not really looking to do much right now. I mean, I made all my moves already, and I have a Speckinar in the AAA and Dela Cruz. So, I mean, if somebody came to me, made me an offer I couldn't refuse for an outfielder, you know, I have somebody to bring up, or an infielder. But I don't know. With all my pitchers on the IL, I just kind of throw my hands up now and go, I guess we're playing for 2027, 2026, and in 2027.
I was about to say, what about next year?
Well, we'll see who gets healthy before then. So yeah, I haven't really heard anything. Oh, the Brewers just posted they're looking for an offensive third baseman.
Huh. I
So
have somebody, but I'm too scared to trade.
Looking around there, there's one other team that I think we've seen make a move already. But when you're looking at prospect capital and who has stuff to move, Scott, you mentioned the Angels and their willingness. Another team that could, the Pittsburgh Pirates with Jack Ryan, the power hitting first baseman who I believe was their first round pick last year. They just drafted Jorge Gonzalez, who took their top spot this year. Graham McDowell's still an elite bat ahead of Jack Ryan. Matthew Hummel, I believe, is a top 200 prospect. Someone in the game maybe could check that out. They just traded
He's
Soriano.
number
70.
72. Yeah.
So they're loaded in the top end of the top 100. Jack Ryan could be an attractive piece for a team that is willing to take on a bat that isn't close to being MLB ready. So maybe there's some reluctance out there, but that's one of your big bats that I think could be used in a potential trade.
Yeah, I agree. I think if if he put Ryan and Hummel together, he could probably get, Acuna.
I mean, just looking through, I've heard Colorado's, while this year has gotten better, they're looking towards next year. So I don't see Vitale, Bodenstein, or Schlotzberg being moved. Texas, they're not moving to high-end prospects. We've seen Johnny Finch and Jason Dominguez potentially on the block in LA. See it I'll believe it when I see it. Pittsburgh, obviously. Seattle, I don't see Austin Alderton getting moved. They're running into some financial, not worries, but it's getting tougher here in the next couple of years, even with Machado and Springer hitting free agency at the end of the year. So I don't see that. Cincinnati or Minnesota, they're moving pieces, not acquiring them. Miami's not in position. We've talked about St. Louis with Yarlin Susana, John Shapiro. They have the pieces, and we've seen them with a willingness with Sacramento. Cleveland's not doing it. I think we all agree James Wood isn't being traded. So you're looking at the teams in the top 10 systems. It's really Pittsburgh, and they've got that piece. So Jack Ryan, there's your name to watch.
That'd be an interesting name to watch.
If I'm Brenton, I'm only trading anybody for someone who has control on it next year. Because I mean, he's no dummy. He knows he has a negative run differential. Yeah, maybe he makes the division title and then gets walloped by us pretty quickly or something. So it's like, well, I don't think
we've done it a couple times, but again, you break the fourth wall. He's a real life Braves fan, isn't he?
True. That's a good
Yeah.
point.
Managed the Braves for a long time. Potentially Acuna, Ryan. It's a type of piece. If I'm Miami, I'd also be interested, even if they were looking towards maybe closer to big league ready, and Ryan isn't. He's a big time piece. I just looking around again. You'd have to get creative then with names that aren't on the block, which is very possible with Breton. I don't know who it would be off the top of my head, but be interesting.
Yeah, hopefully the next 36 hours, people get busy.
36. We're at 24, 25, 20. We're at like 27 hours.
Yeah, get down to it.
Yeah.
What
yeah,
time does
we
it have
are.
to be in by tomorrow?
4:30 Pacific. Right?
4:30.
Yes.
4:30.
We
Yeah,
we
we're
always
getting
see
close.
that rush right near the end. I agree with John. There hasn't been much, and it feels slow. But we say that most years, and then 15 trades come in a 10-minute segment. So we'll
Yeah. Well,
And
I'm
that's
really
just
looking.
Scott.
I'm really looking. Hey, got it out there, Chapman.
see.
I'm really interested to see what the Angels, Seattle, or Houston do here at the deadline. Are they going to go after that piece and try to win the division, or are they going to just be okay with what they have and wait for the playoffs?
Same
Yeah,
token goes to the Phillies. The same token, the Phillies.
Yep.
You're leading that division by 1 billion games. Your eyes are on the playoffs. Do you make a move? The offense obviously doesn't need any help, but I still would be concerned about that rotation beyond Pedro Magana in a playoff series.
They're really good.
They're very good. They're very, very, very good.
Get my 7 cracks at them at some point. See what happens. You never know.
What it is interesting though, looking at the Phillies, and we heard earlier San Francisco with 3 left-handed pitchers. The Phillies are just 15-15 against lefties. You find a rotation that has enough of those, you have a chance. If you throw righties at them, good luck because they're 52-24.
Yeah. No, I mean that's I don't think I do it whenever I run a team, I tend to get as many lefties as possible, to be honest, because most people just ignore the splits sometimes and just say, oh, or they have a hard time finding a guy who hits lefty, so they don't bother. They get by with it. And then, so that's why Hurl and Graham are about as untouchable as a player as I'll ever get. They're all-star left-handed starting pitchers. Like, if they're going to see them 4 times if I play the Phillies, like, I'll take my chances.
And I thought maybe Rhett, but I'm looking over at his team and I really don't see the guy for him to move, offensively.
That was Camilo Duvall. Was their big piece to move. He moved. Does someone take a chance on a Casey Mize? But he's been atrocious this year, so that seems unlikely. The contract of Gary Sanchez, that's not happening. He might want to make moves. Okay, yeah, Ed Mitchell's an option.
Yeah, that's probably the best. Oh, what happened to Ardino? He used to be so good.
The issue with Ed Mitchell, though, I mean, again, you're looking at it. What's his FIP?
It's like 3.4.
Okay, so it's much better than the ERA. So yeah, Ed Mitchell's a buy low candidate potentially. But if you're to the other side of that, I mean, pulling up his contract, if you're the Yankees who have no pitching whatsoever, do you trade potentially your best pitcher who signed for 2 more years at like $3.5 million? I mean, I'm not going to say you don't do it, but
it's got to be worth it.
Yeah. Minnesota, I mean, Minnesota's trading of players makes them. Do they have another name up their sleeves that gets moved? We've seen Coward. We talked Julio Rodriguez. Jed McKinley's signed only through the end of the year. He's well worth a risk if you're a team. The issue there, is he going to be happy on the bench, or do you basically have to play him at catcher and or DH to keep him happy, keep your morale up? But that'd be one to watch. Martin Lopez making $40 million a year feels unlikely. Nick McCauley too. There's another bullpen arm. There's been speculation the Angels are unhappy with Dennis Moore. Did the Angels get involved with the reliever? Could Nick McCauley be an option there? Jed McKinley. Jed McKinley is another name. Keep an eye on that one.
He should probably get traded, McKinley.
Yeah, he's 34 years old. He's not. It make no sense to re-sign him if you're Minnesota.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna keep my eye on the White Sox. I think that if they made a move and got a player or two, like a center fielder or maybe a catcher,
Pitching.
they
need pitching.
There was inside source had told me they were offered a pitcher who I believe is now 10-4 with a sub-3 ERA from an American League contender yesterday, or within the past week. But the price was laughed when asked about, so I don't see that one happening. But I think they are looking around. Would be the right phrase when it comes to pitching in the White Sox.
I think the best thing the White Sox could do is start using Marmaro as more of a stopper than a closer. He's one of the best pitchers in the league, pitch for pitch. And I mean, he's only going to finish with like 40 innings. And he could probably handle more routine work. They should probably work to make him pitch more like 70 plus innings a year.
And to your point about being aggressive with prospects, Yuri Perez at some point, he's going to be on the opening day roster next year, I would assume. You're not gaining anything holding him off then versus now. Get Yuri Perez up to the bigs.
I'm a big believer in it. You know, I'd rather call a guy up and know what I've got than continually assume he's going to be amazing, and then I call him up and he's not. You know, like who knows how much time I wasted. And like you said, you're not really out anything money wise, so you might as well. And kind of space out when you call guys up. Like that's another big one. You've got like 2 or 3 big prospects. You don't want them to all hit for agency at the same time.
Yeah, Yuri really needs to get called up. He would be the number 1 on the Yankees.
That's not saying much.
I meant that in a good way, though.
Yeah, I mean, I think Steven Strasburg was the number 1 on the Yankees there for a while this season.
Speaking of disconnect between real world names, and...
I got nothing else on my end on names.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see in the next 24 hours what happens.
Yeah,
Who makes that first move and bust the door open?
Yeah, I think Jad flew to it. Like he's looking to make a trade that helps him for next year. Like I know that's when I've been terrible. I've done that quite a few times. It's like, yeah, maybe I'm not going to make the playoffs this year, and we know it for sure. But this is a trade I can make now rather than trying to sign a free agent. So maybe we'll see some of those deals come through.
Mark Appel seems unlikely. Does anyone feel otherwise? I mean, just traded. Yeah,
I looked at him before Bueller hit the mark, and I was like, oh, maybe. But then I was like, nah. I figured I did.
I mean, I was the guy who went up to like 25 million on Appel when he went to sign, and I just can't bring myself to even look at that contract now.
I couldn't afford him. But I'd love to have him.
Now with that attitude, you can't.
That's right. Yeah, I think the Cubs could be a scary team if they could make it in.
I mean, they're not going to make it, but they have. I mean, they have a positive. They're ostensibly better than the Brewers and Pirates. Yeah. They've got the 7th best run differential in the National League, which, that and the buck will get you a bag of Doritos. But I mean, still, it's not like they're terrible.
They're 18 and 32 over their last 2 months. They're not good either at the moment.
Yeah.
They're in that. They're young. That's what they are. They're young. They needed that season of growing pains, and it's not going to end the way I think maybe they hoped with the start, but then you also just take into consideration where they've been the last few years. It's a team that won 62 games in 2023 and 61 last year. I mean, they're going to win 75 games this year. I mean, they're going to have a sizable, they're going to have their best record probably since 2017. It's still a highly productive year for the Cubs.
Yeah, they're kind of remind me where I was 2 years ago, where like I knew I wasn't making the playoffs, but like I picked up a couple guys that would be around like Marley and Urias that I knew would be part of our next playoff team kind of deal, so they could do it like that. And then I, went out and spent like, I don't know, like $600 million. That helps too.
I'm kind of excited to see what Texas does here in the next couple of years.
They've got pieces.
Yeah.
Yeah, Caprillion was the pitcher I checked in on a couple weeks back because he fit almost exactly what I was looking for. And he basically just said that just didn't have enough prospects.
And there's another player or two. I thought I was out of players, then I find more. Again, catcher, we've talked about it multiple times. Julio Rodriguez, Jed McKinley, throw Cameron Gallagher if you're more looking for a defensive-minded catcher. I think that one becomes interesting. Never mind, the other player I thought was a free agent to be. He is not. So Cam Gallagher, another one to keep an eye on.
Well, Heinz, maybe you're the trade that's just going to break the door down here tonight.
Yeah, maybe we'll see a flurry. I think it's gonna be quiet, or we're gonna see a lot of little things happen at the end. Maybe I'll trade for Cam Gallagher.
I think towards the end here, we're probably going to see a lot of relief pitchers for playoff teams or potential playoff teams to strengthen their bullpen.
Do the A's have any of those available?
Yeah, you got some of the best in the league on your team.
Well,
Would you deal them?
depends. Always depends. I always tell people nobody's untouchable.
Yeah, but then you ask for unreasonable things, and then
Only from you, Chappie. Only
they
from
become
you.
untouchable.
I think I've got the unreasonable request as well.
Are there reasonable players in your bullpen that could be acquired? I mean, I'm not talking. I think it's fair to say Rocker and Chan aren't going anywhere. Again, yes, it depends, but are there guys that you could reasonably see being moved?
A guy like Wiley, who is free now because that's who I got from Toronto. He's a free agent to be, if I remember right.
Yes.
Him or maybe Luzardo or Cromwell. Not pitching lights out or anything, but they're solid track records.
Yeah, I mean, again, a team that needs a lefty, Wiley and Luzardo both make perfect sense, and teams that like a hard throwing strikeout arm, Dean Cromwell makes sense. So yeah, those make sense for teams to definitely consider.
Yeah, I thought about trading.
I don't have any starters left to trade, so yeah.
Wow, that is a sad rotation you have right now, Scott.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Oof.
Considering, let's look at my my disabled list. Hunter Johnson, Schoenborn, Sheets, Abrams.
Yeah.
Wentz, he's coming off here shortly.
Your current 3, 4, 5 starters have combined for 4 starts this season.
Well, I just threw Bryce Wilson in there because I didn't want to,
I get
do
it.
anything else right now. I mean,
I get it.
what's the point in putting another, like a prospect in there? It's going to get hurt. I mean, everybody's getting hurt in Sacramento right now.
Well, you got a guy named Joe Rock. I mean, surely he could at least sell jerseys. People are going to want jerseys that say Rock on them.
Did they have
Get
to
the local
in the front?
get him to wear the uniform number of the local rock station. He'd be like Rock 96. And have like some marketing there.
I thought about bringing Rock up and just letting them pitch and see what happens. And I still might, RJ Scott's another one, but I don't like his changeup. Probably better in a bullpen.
It's his fifth pitch, though. If it was his fourth pitch, I'd worry a little more. It's his fifth
Yeah.
one, you know?
So, I have nothing to lose this year. So, I'm probably going to be bringing up a bunch of guys for a little bit here. Just to let them taste the big leagues.
Well, be sure you have good players playing when you're playing Detroit or Boston or
No.
anyone else I'm chasing.
No, that's what I'm going to put all my backups in.
Oh,
Come on.
you're playing Arizona this weekend. Don't go messing around. Play all the good players. Trade for. In fact, Scott, I'm gonna need you to trade for Acuna and a couple other guys.
And Ohtani.
They'll just
Yeah.
get hurt. They'll just
I'll,
get hurt.
I'll talk to Matt and we'll let you trade him away after Sunday, but just make sure you get him for this weekend.
Weekend deal.
Yeah, it's a loan. They do that
Just
in
a lot.
soccer, right?
Yeah, that's right. Let
Yeah.
them walk across the bullpen of the field.
Just borrow them.
Okay. Well, I think we've kind of exhausted that.
Yeah,
Oh,
covered everything.
Souza said, "Go get Tatis from Matt Wells. I hear the Astros are rebuilding." That sounds like a Suze thing, doesn't it?
I'm sure Justin's on to something right there. Wouldn't put it past him.
No. All right. So maybe if we have some big trades tomorrow, we have to do a breaking news or something, and we'll come on and do something quickly.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
Yeah,
All right.
sounds good.
Thanks, Anonymous GM.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Heinz, for joining us today. Chappie, do you want
Thanks,
anything?
Evan.
You want to say anything about Bradley Swagger before we go?
Well, I would just say real quick, because we've exhausted almost a full hour, that I kept talking and talking about how gonna get hot at some point, and now we're finally on a 7-game win streak, feeling good. The locker room feels good. Bradley Swagger needs 2 RBI tonight to reach 100 before August. If he doesn't do it tonight, he won't do it at all because we're off tomorrow. But I'm just really feeling a little bit of upward momentum, and I don't want to jinx it, but I feel like the Tigers are just, getting a little tired. And this is where we make our move.
Well, make me an offer I can't refuse for
So-
Fustini right now.
And with that, we're gonna go down 7-0 tonight. I offered you 2 quality players for him.
Two guys
Including-
I traded you already.
It doesn't matter. Like, you're not gonna find a better pitching prospect out there than Shane Goldman. There's not one that's almost MLB ready.
Yeah, but why would I want Lofton back? I mean, I have no room in my outfield.
Well, you'll have a spot cleared when Faustini joins the Royals. Makes
What was the
perfect
offer?
sense to me.
And I can tell you it was fair. What was the offer?
I said I send him Goldman and Lofton back
For
for
Faustini?
Faustini.
Hold on, let me pull up Goldman.
Yeah, I think that
Gold-
Goldman alone is worth Faustini personally.
Hold on, let me find this Goldman character.
Go look at.
The
Let me
only
go look
thing-
at the.
The only thing
Where's my-
bad about him, so he's 23, he's got potential 75 stuff, 55 movement, 60 control.
It's not the worst trade ever. I mean, I don't know if I'd do it just because I don't know if it makes any sense.
Also,
but-
he's hurt for the next 7 months, so we're not sure
Oh, now
what
I
that
see
means. But he's not trying to
We're
win
not
this
sure
year
what that
anyway.
means. I know what that means. It means we ain't playing until next year.
Yeah, but he doesn't need to be better right now. He wants to improve his draft stock.
Hey,
Maybe
if
you'll
I
go
put
and-
it, if I put it in the player trade, Rob, it says
Yeah.
Kansas City can't afford the contract.
Yeah, I know. Well, I can though, because Matt says we can go up to negative 10 million, so I can afford it. He just has to manually force it through. But
Well, let's see. If I retained 100% of Fustini, it says my assistant GM says I'm leaning against this deal.
you got a bad GM.
Honestly, that's not bad. Every trade I ever did, the GM's like, "What are you thinking? You're the dumbest." thing." So I mean, that's actually not bad.
Well, we'll see. I think I've found a different right fielder. Maybe.
I
Maybe
doubt it. I doubt it. You haven't made the trade yet, so
Well, we'll see. Like I said. And if not, Reimer Liriano's got 11 home runs and plays great defense. Jalen
Sure,
Lofton's there. He's hitting better in KC than he was before. He plays great defense. So I got options. Love to have one more option, just,
Scott, I'll trade you my top 2 prospects for Fussy. Don't look. Just say yes.
Just say
Top 2
yes.
prospect. No one else is going to give you their top 2 prospects.
That's
Well-
probably true. So
Yeah, so there you go. It's a deal.
see,
Well-
Rob, even if I add Gunnar Gray to the trade, it says I guess it's an okay deal.
Yeah, that's my top 2 prospects, Goldman and Gray.
Yeah, see, exactly. The GMs, you can't ever go by that.
No.
But I feel like I got some of, I can't trade Karnofsky yet, but I think he's legit. I've got like 3 prospects I like. Out of
I, for some reason, cannot trade. I don't know. To me, all the players look the same, and then they just end up stinking. So, yeah, we can do it.
Well, you know what? The big thing I'm interested in is, OOTP 26. What is that going to do to our current people?
Oh gosh.
Usually-
Somebody's-
Usually something happens where something goes, one stat goes down tremendously.
Well, it's a whole different situation. I don't know how much you guys have played 26. I've played
Haven't.
25.
I haven't even got it.
I played 25 for a whole year. My other league's always on the newest, and then 26 since it came out. I mean, yeah, it's going to be a big time adjustment for people for sure. Both you get to see the BABIP rating. There's a rework of how contact is basically made. It's now a combination of BABIP and avoid Ks. There's movement for both balls in play and for home runs. And then there's, it's going to be, then there's the development lab, which is a whole nother way to like handle the off season. It's going to be, I would recommend buying it now and fiddling with it for the next 4 months or 3 months or whatever it is.
Well, on the bright side,
Too bad we couldn't put our OOTP league and our stuff in there.
I forgot the All-Star sale, so I think I'm waiting for the World Series sale now because it's back up to $39 or $49 or whatever it is. But on the bright side, if I get it in October, I've got till March to figure it out. Only because this is looking like a slow off season for me.
Yeah.
You should do some solo leaguing and fiddle around.
Yeah.
It's definitely an adjustment. Like, I was like, my league that I was on the current one, I was doing really good in OTP 23, 24, and then 25. It took me that whole release to figure out the new ratings. And now I'm kind of back to where, okay, I got an idea what's going on. But yeah, every player is going to look drastically worse. But every player will look drastically worse. Get ready to see a whole lot of 45, 50, 55.
Oh, Lord.
45, 50,
Oh.
55. 45,
Oh,
50,
man.
55. Yeah.
That's
Not
not
looking
fun.
forward to that.
It's not as much fun. I think part of that could be the settings of the other league I'm on. I think it's like you can do relative ratings and all that stuff. So that, but I mean, it's going to be an adjustment for sure.
Well, unfortunately, the amateur draft is already, for me, just a bunch of 45, 50s.
Exactly. My guys just staying. So at least my prospects won't get any worse.
Yeah. Who needs prospects?
Nah.
When you win a division or win a World Series, who needs prospects?
Yeah, that's my plan.
I need Swagger to keep his 70 contact 80 power.
I hope he goes down to 55.
No.
All right. So any last words as we get ready to wrap up? Heinz?
Oh, I just want to announce that
Rob?
Bradley Swagger's uniform number has changed to number 1 because he is number 1.
Oh my goodness, I'm gonna throw up.
That's all I got this week. We'll catch up next week.
All right. So if something happens tomorrow and something big happens, I'm gonna probably pop on and maybe try to get the anonymous GM or whoever wants to pop on and talk about the trades, or maybe I just do it at the trade deadline tomorrow. Like
Maybe so. Do
yeah,
a live.
like 4 o'clock. Do a live.
Yeah, I might could join you for. Actually, I can't tomorrow. Dang.
I don't know. I have to look at my. Let me pull up my calendar. Because I'm working from home right now because my office is tore up at work. So, well, yeah, I can probably do that. So I'm gonna make myself a note, and then I'll actually post it in the chat room and put another, come up with
Whoever is
invite.
available. hop
Yeah.
on.
So awesome.
All right.
Well, I appreciate it, guys. Thank you for
Yep.
all the trade talk and getting us some players, and Heinz telling us all about your trade, and We look
Thanks for
forward
having
to
me.
we look forward to the Giant and Arizona rivalry this fall.
It's gonna be
Yeah.
I'll reach out to Kimberly and see if she'll give me Otani with him fully paid for the rest of the year for nothing.
I mean, it might not work since that's who I want you to use. Otani might be the tough sell, but maybe give it a shot. Whatever gets good players out of Arizona, I'm all for.
All right, cool. All right, guys. Well, good luck to both of you as you go make for the playoffs, and I'll settle for also ran once again.
Have a good offseason,
All
Scott.
right. See you guys later. Bye.
Bye.